So glad to have you all here. My name is Emma Grace Woolsey. I am a junior in Industrial and Systems Engineering with a minor in Spanish. Um, Outside of the Dean's team, I am a member of the Marching Virginians, and we perform at all the football games. I'm also part of the consulting group at Virginia Tech, and we do real-world consulting for local, national, and international clients. All right, so what it takes to be a successful College of Engineering student. Firstly, creativity. This is not the typical like art, music creativity that you might think of, but it's more, can you think of ideas that are outside of the box and outside of traditional ideas? Teamwork. So in the real world, you're going to be on teams all of the time, and so just learning those skills in high school will be very helpful for you, but Virginia Tech does a great job of preparing you. There are so many classes where I've had group projects. Study habits. So this is going to be a lot different between high school and college. So in high school, I would say just really focus on learning how to manage your time well, because once you get into college, it's not like high school where you have class from 8 a.m. to 3 or whatever. You may only have one class a certain day, and then the next day you have three, like I do this semester, and you have to figure out, okay, when am I going to study? When am I going to do extracurriculars? And so just figuring everything like that out so that you're able to do well in your classes. And interest in math and science. So this does not have to be you love both. I certainly am a lot more interested in math than in science, and that is okay. I would say just having enough interest where you can get through those initial gen eds in math and science, and then just depending on which engineering major you choose, you'll have more of one or the other. And then a challenging high school background. So we realize that not all high schools are the same. Some high schools might have every single AP or IB course, and then some may have none. And so just taking the most challenging courses available to you. So here are some statistics on our freshman class of 2022. So average GPA 4.11 on a 5.0 scale, 695 math, 663 reading, 24% females, and then 22% underrepresented minorities, 19% underserved populations, and these bottom numbers are higher than the national average. So when you come into Virginia Tech, unless you're majoring in building construction, in which you will just come in as a building construction major, you will be majoring in general engineering. And so theoretically, if you have no transfer credit, everyone's taking the same classes. So super similar your freshman year, and then we have a whole chart for APIB, CLEP, DE, and it's actually very intuitive and helpful to show which credits you get out of depending on the score you have, which class you've taken. Pathways is a way that all Virginia Tech students are well-rounded. So there's these different categories, and you have to take a certain number of electives in each category. So every Virginia Tech student has to do this, not just engineers. So it's a way you can take electives that are fun, maybe something you're interested in outside of STEM. And then at the end of your freshman year, you will select your major. You'll put like your top three, and then if you have a 3.0 GPA, that automatically guarantees your first choice. Not to say that if you don't have a 3.0 GPA, you won't get your first choice major. Your freshman year, you're going to take a Foundations of Engineering class, both your fall semester and spring semester. So the fall semester class really focuses a lot on data collection and analytics, problem solving. You're in a group the entire semester, learning how to work with a group, communicate, and all of that. And then the spring semester, you have like a mini design project. And what's cool about this class is that you're in it with every possible type of engineer. And so it makes for a great team environment. And you get to pick which product you want to design. So you can do a wind turbine, a drone, a solar oven, and I'm sure there's even more. So This class is great in terms of just getting a broad understanding of engineering as well as all the different majors at Virginia Tech. So this chart and graph just shows which are the most popular engineering majors. So I think CS, computer science, is now the most popular, which it used to be mechanical. So that's very interesting. And then some of the tiny ones: ocean engineering, construction engineering and management, mining engineering. So most of those are 100% job placement, the really tiny ones. Opportunities. So there are a lot of engineering minors. They're all listed here, and computer science is actually a very popular minor for industrial and systems engineers. Green engineering is super popular as well. But aside from these, you can minor in anything outside of the College of Engineering. I said I'm a Spanish minor, so the world is your oyster with minors, which is really neat. Undergrad research, there are so many opportunities for this. If you just go up to any of your professors and say, hey, I was really interested in what you were talking about in class, is there any way I can visit your lab and learn more? More than likely, they will love to do that because professors love nothing more than talking about what they researched. So, or even if you just send an email to any of them, as long as you have a good understanding of what they do in their lab, I think there will be lots of opportunities. And there are opportunities for freshmen as well. So, Rising Sophomore Abroad program, if I was not here in the COVID era, I would have loved to do this. So there are 9 different tracks. They're all listed here of different countries you can go to, and you learn about engineering and the culture in all these different countries, or whichever country you pick. You take a 3-credit course during the spring semester to prepare you to go abroad. And then during May, for 2 weeks, you will go to these countries with a faculty advisor. And it seems like a really, really cool experience. It's a great way to do study abroad where it doesn't disrupt your schedule at all. And this summer after your freshman year is probably the only summer you might not have an internship, and so there's not that to consider. So really great opportunity. And then professional societies and engineering organizations. There are so many of these available to you. Even for every major, I want to say there's like 6 or more for industrial systems, so a lot to take advantage of. There are also engineering fraternities and sororities if you're interested in that. So these really just provide a lot of support to you, resources, and professional development opportunities. All right. Internships and co-ops. So an internship is a summer-long experience where you're working for a company and industry. A co-op occurs during a semester and you're working for the company. So it's basically just when they're occurring. So these companies listed here are Dean's Team companies. And we like to say if it was Virginia Tech engineering companies, it would fill up this entire map. So my company I co-op with this summer is actually on here, FedEx. So that is super cool. So career fairs, Virginia Tech actually has the 2nd largest student-run career fair in the nation, which is called Engineering Expo, and that is what most of these pictures are from. And so this middle top picture, the recruiter is actually the one in maroon and orange, so we like to say Hokies hire Hokies. And then the top right picture is actually an Engineering Expo preview. And if you're a part of the engineering living and learning community, which I'll get more into later, you will be required to go to this event, which is actually a very beneficial event because you get the chance to talk to companies as a freshman, and they know you're freshmen, so the expectations are kind of more relaxed and chill during this event. And you just get to put your name out there, learn how to talk to a company, give an elevator pitch and everything, so it's really great. And I do want to say, outside of career fairs, there are other opportunities to get the foot in your door with companies, as well as grow professionally. These professional societies will host company events, and then we have a great career center that will provide resume reviews and mock interviews for you, so that's really helpful as well. So Galileo and Hypatia is the engineering, living, and learning community. So this is about 600 people, and everyone is in Hoke Hall. So you're all engineers in the same dorm, and as a part of this community, you will be in a 2-credit class, and this class is very useful because it's all the stuff that you should be doing freshman year, but no one will probably tell you unless you're in this class. So you're doing like a cover letter, a LinkedIn page, your Handshake profile, which is our job portal, which is all really great things to have professionally as an engineer. It's a great way to meet other engineers and people that will probably be in your classes. And then this bottom middle picture is the makerspace, which is exclusive to Hoke Hall residents. So if you're wanting to make Christmas present for mom and dad that's homemade, this is a great opportunity. Digerati is a brand new living and learning community, and this is for information technology. So they're housed in Pritchard. They're not the only ones in Pritchard. Pritchard has multiple living learning communities and then people not in a living learning community. And Digerati is more interdisciplinary, I would say, than Hoke Hall or Galpatia. It's really anyone interested in information technology, data science, data analytics, and you'll also be part of a course for this living learning community as well. Peer mentoring. So if you just heard about Galpatia and you're like, or Digerati, and you're like, I don't know if I want to live with all STEM people, that is totally fine. And if you want the resources that will help you succeed, then peer mentoring is for you. So a peer mentor will have around 5 or 6 mentees, and they will take you out to dinner, and they'll take you hiking, as shown here, and just give you advice that is really helpful as a freshman and help you adjust to college. So STEP is the summer before you come here as a freshman. It's basically a trial run of college. So you're taking your math class and your chemistry class, and there are no real consequences. So you're just taking these classes, learning how to study, learning what you like, social activities, and how to balance all of it. So a great opportunity if you're looking to adjust to college. So here are our design teams. These are not all of our design teams. These are just the Wear Lab design teams. There are actually a lot more than this. But these are the ones housed in the Wear Lab, and this is a great way to apply what you're learning in the class outside the classroom with a group of all kinds of engineers. And they do accept freshmen. They actually want freshmen so that you had time to grow in the group. So we have concrete canoe one, we have a human powered submarine, so some very cool opportunities. Here are rankings, number 16 best undergrad, 30 best grad. I think now we're actually number 13 best undergrad. Number 7 producer of engineers and 8 producer of women engineers. Last year we had an 87% retention rate. And I think Galpatia is somewhere near 98, 99%. 70% employed after graduation and 15% plan to attend grad school. Not many people responded to the survey, so and then 74K is the median starting salary. Scholarships. So you fill out one application for these scholarships as a freshman, and then there's a transfer student scholarship. For upperclassmen, there are so many more opportunities than for freshmen. So please apply. It's just one application like for freshmen. Every year I've applied, I've gotten a scholarship as an upperclassman. So please do that. There are a lot of opportunities there. Computer requirements. So the new MacBook is not recommended. It has a chip that is not compatible with certain PC softwares that you'll need to use in engineering, so do not recommend that. But I would just wait to buy your computer until pretty close to the school year if you can. Moving on to majors. Okay, so first is electrical engineering. So the bullets on these slides for some of these majors are going to be something you can actually declare and see on your diploma. But for other engineering majors, they're just sub-bullets and tell you more about the major. So for electrical and computer, it's actually something you can declare. So we like to say there's a spectrum between fully hardware and fully software, and electrical is on that fully hardware side. So electrical engineers do things from the nanoscale to the nation's power grid. It's a huge range, and all of the things listed here are part of what they do. Computer engineering is smack dab in the middle of that hardware to software spectrum. So you can really lean either way, choosing a path that is whichever route you want to take. Cybersecurity is something very hot right now and a very common path that computer engineers take. And yeah, so they can do a bit of software, a bit of hardware. So computer science is on that fully software end of the spectrum, and computer science is a major that there are very few required courses, but a lot of electives. So you have a lot of freedom with this major in really just choosing where you want to take it, which is super cool. The top left picture was taken in the Cube, which is a mix of virtual reality and artificial reality. The bottom left picture is at a hackathon, which I actually just learned that you're not actually hacking into something, you're building something, which I thought was funny. And this bottom right picture is at a computer science career fair. So mechanical engineering, this is your bread and butter engineering major, super broad. You can take it energy, nuclear, design and manufacturing, any of those places. So the top left picture at our football games, traditionally when we get a touchdown, a member of the Corps of Cadets will do push-ups. And the mechanical engineering department decided to relieve the Corps and make this robot that would do the push-ups. These bottom pictures are actually design teams. So aerospace engineering, aerospace engineers look at the propulsion of objects in the air, and they can also focus on space if they choose, or aerodynamic propulsion vehicle design. So this top right picture is actually the drone cage, which if you choose to make the drone in your Foundations of Engineering class, you'll get to fly it in here. We actually have drone racing teams at Virginia Tech, and so they'll use this drone cage as well. And then the top left picture is a Rolls-Royce engine, and this is actually in Goodwin Hall. If you get the chance to come to campus and see this, it's a lot more impressive in person. Okay, ocean engineering. It's pretty common to double major in aerospace and ocean engineering because there's quite a bit of overlap. I want to say it adds a year to your graduation. So ocean engineering is the propulsion of objects in water. They're also called naval architects. So just looking at submarines and ships and everything. So this is one of our really small majors. And Virginia Tech is pretty unique in that aerospace and ocean engineering are in the same department. Not a lot of schools have that. Okay, industrial and systems engineering. This is my major. I love my major, so I'll just talk a bit about each of these bullets here. So human factors engineering and ergonomics. Human factors really focuses on what is the human's interaction with technology? How can we make the technology better so that the human can more easily interact with that? And then ergonomics is more the physical aspect. So how can we ensure that the human doesn't get injured when they're doing certain tasks? How can we fix a chair so that it is better for humans to sit in for a long period of time? Management systems, a lot of ISCs will go into consulting as well as managing people and the theory of managing people. And then manufacturing is how can we make a certain process as efficient as possible. And operations research is more how can we route the FedEx truck so that it takes the most efficient route, it takes the best route, or how can we distribute the COVID-19 vaccine so that it is the most fair way to distribute that as possible. So, love my major. I've made so many friends through my major, and I'm so thankful for this major. All right, chemical engineering. So, the difference between chemical engineering and a chemist is a chemist is more looking at certain reactions, trying to see what they do and test it, and you more think of them like isolated in a lab. And then chemical engineers is more how do we scale this reaction so that we can implement it in like oil or gas or cosmetics and stuff like that. So really just scaling up, I would say. Material science and engineering. So this is more how do we pick the best material for this certain application. There's a larger focus on polymers and steels, the chemical engineers. A good way to explain this, so this top left picture, this football player's arm was injured, so he wasn't going to be able to play in the game because it required a hard cast. But the material science and engineering department made him a softer cast that was still protective of his arm so that he could still play in the game. So we actually won that game, and the MSc department credits themselves with the win. But all right, civil engineering, another like bread and butter engineering major. So they focus on building bridges, any structure with four walls on this earth. A civil engineer has had a part in making that. So another thing they do is water quality, water resources. Virginia Tech actually has a professor, Dr. Mark Edwards, that helped solve the Flint, Michigan water crisis. So that is very cool and just shows Virginia Tech's like far-reaching impact. So construction engineering and management, this is a degree that gives the students the business as well as engineering background in order to help work on a construction site. So they get the technical background, but then they get that construction background as well. And this is 100% job placement. They also get to wear hard hats at graduation, so that's what the top left picture is. Building construction. So this is different than CEM in that it is more project management based. So they don't necessarily get as much technical, as much engineering knowledge, and it's more project management. Mining and minerals engineering. So if you're looking to do a large scale things, this major is for you. If you want to blow stuff up, this is for you. So another 100% job placement major. Super tiny. They go on a lot of field trips. Yeah. Biological systems engineering. So these focus on watershed science, food science, and really just harnessing the environment and its natural processes and engineering them to be better. So this major actually is really great if you're wanting to do pre-med. A lot of the requirements for this major align really well with the MCAT. Biomedical engineering. So this is more looking at making devices so that certain aspects of biology are better. This bottom right picture is of the helmet lab at Virginia Tech, and this is really well-known, famous lab that sets helmet ratings for safety for like the entire nation. Um, yeah, that is all I had. I feel like I kind of blew through that because it's just me. So, oh yeah, why did I come to College of Engineering at Virginia Tech? So, I'm actually from Blacksburg, Virginia. So growing up, I was like, no way am I ever going to come to this school. Like it is 5 minutes drive from my house. That is just not gonna happen. But when I got in, when I was a senior in high school, I thought more about it. I got to go to C-Tech Squared, which if there are any like rising junior, senior girls out there, please consider doing C-Tech Squared. It is a 2-week camp for girls interested in engineering at Virginia Tech. And it just allowed me to see Virginia Tech in a different light than being my hometown. And it just talked a lot about the resources that are available to Virginia Tech engineers, and that is very true. You just have to seek those resources out, but there are so many available to you. And then I was exposed to the Marching Virginians, and that was a huge part of why I chose Virginia Tech as well. That organization just illustrates the community of the school and is such a great part of my experience at Virginia Tech. Um, all right. I'm going to open the floor for questions now. So please don't be shy with your questions. It looks like I got one question asking if you do a co-op during a semester, does this push your graduation date? And do you still live on campus? So I've actually done a co-op during a semester, and I'm about to do one again in the spring. So it depends on the major. So I think certain majors are better about letting you take classes, like, I don't know, the prereqs. They're more lenient with the prereq, and it's less, this is only offered in the fall, this is only offered in the spring. I will be graduating a year late because of my co-op, even though I came in as a sophomore. So ISD is just very like, they won't, they're very strict on the prereqs and then strict on when they offer courses, but not all majors are like that. So drop those questions in there, please. Go right ahead. What is campus life like? I don't even know where to start. I would say just everyone is super friendly. I'm involved in so much that, or even I think this is a common sentiment, like you just run into people you know everywhere, and it never feels like a school with 30,000 people. It feels very small, which is nice because there are so many opportunities and resources, but it just feels small at the same time. There's always a lot to do. The football games are so much fun. Great hiking around here. Yeah, I would say it's very lively campus life. What are the benefits of taking a more specific engineering course like mining over something more general like mechanical or chemical? Hmm. Um, that's a great question. I'm not sure. I would say you're just getting exposed to classes that I guess your freshman year you learn about all the engineering majors, and so you get the chance to ask upperclassmen about what the classes are like. And so I would just say look at the check sheet, which shows every class you're going to take and when you're going to take it. And that way you're better able to determine, okay, these classes sound more interesting to me than these and stuff like that. Another benefit of a more specific one is you get to know the people in the major better because there are less people in the major. So I found that to be really nice with ISD. There's like 200 people in my grade versus mechanical is probably triple, quadruple that, or even more. So there's benefits and drawbacks to each choice. If your interest is cybersecurity, is it better to do CS major with cybersecurity minor or computer engineering major? I do not know the answer to that. Honestly, let me drop my email in the chat and I can connect you with like people that would better be able to answer that. So yeah, I think it just depends on your interest. Like computer engineering, I would say is stereotypically harder than CS. That's just a stereotype though. Like, but so that also depends. Yeah, I would say if you more enjoy like the circuits and hardware stuff, I would do computer engineering. But if you just want to do software, do CS and like cybersecurity aspects of software. I don't know. How many majors can you have? Theoretically, as many as you want, but I would option double majoring as an engineer. I think double majoring in anything, really anything, will add at least a year onto your graduation. So, the more closely aligned your second major is to your first major, the easier that'll be to do. But if like you're majoring in, I don't know, ISC in Spanish, that may take longer. So yeah, I would really recommend like a major and a minor or something, because you may not necessarily need two majors either. Like, yeah. What is the female to male student ratio in mechanical engineering? I will say it is much worse than like many other engineering majors. So ISD is like 50-50. Mechanical engineering, it's still like not great. So there are still very few women in mechanical engineering. Yeah, so that is a drawback, for sure to mechanical engineering. How many students are in the average engineering class? So your freshman year classes are going to be a lot bigger, and then as you get to like senior year, they're going to be much smaller. So I would say like foundations of engineering, physics, chemistry, those are all going to have like 150 to 100 people in those. And then your English and math will actually be pretty small. There will be like 20 people in those. And then once you get to your end major classes, it really just depends on how big your major is. So my major is basically every class is split into half of our grade. So there's like 80 people in all my classes, but I see those people over and over again, and so it feels really small. Yeah. Um, are you assigned an academic advisor your freshman year? Any other advisors? So yes, your freshman year you will get a general engineering advisor, and so yeah, they'll like help you pick your major and set up a plan of what classes you're going to take and all that, and then you'll get a different advisor once you declare your major in your major. Do you ever get chances to get a one-on-one with the professor? I would say if you're looking for that, to go to office hours and then like go up to them before or after class and talk to them. And then certain professors, if you email them and ask to meet one-on-one, they'll just be like, yeah, when do you want to meet? So I would say it's easier than you think at this big of a university. What is the percentage of mechanical engineering students that select automotive engineering as their major? I do not know the answer to that. Please email me and I can connect you with a mechanical engineer. All right, if there's no more questions, I'll just wait for a few minutes if anyone wants to ask any just to me. But yeah, thank you so much for attending. Feel free to use my email and hope to see you as a Hokie.